Game started.
Okay, chameleon. Chameleon. Let's try a Sicilian. Okay, this bishop c4 line against the Sicilian. I usually play e6, although I think the immediate e6 is not the most accurate move there. Just continue developing for a bit. Now I'll play e6 because there's a threat on f7. I need to do something about it. And if knight takes f7 here, I guess I can just take. Okay, that defended the knight. So I guess he's not going to sack a knight on f7, which sometimes real aggressive players will do. Oh, he's going for that line. Okay, I can't take the knight because of queen takes rook. And I need to defend f7. So I guess it's a queen move. The queen could go to these squares. Or it could go to f6. Does it matter? Queen f6, knight. Yeah, let's try queen f6. Pawn to e5. I can take it with my knight. And there's just a few more options here. Maybe queen g6 to chase his queen away. There's an idea. I just don't believe this attack is any good. It's a little too simple. So what's holding the pin? The pin is held by the fact that the rook is undefended. So if I play g6, hitting the queen, then that defends the rook. And he needs to move the queen, I think. Is there a knight move that attacks the queen? Not really. And after he moves the queen, since the rook is defended, I can take his knight. Hopefully this is the case. Also notice the h-pawn is defended by my knight, and undeveloped knight and bishop are doing a good job in defending h6. So we'll see. So I think I'm winning a piece. But I've been wrong before. Also, his c-pawn is undefended, so at some point I might have a knight to e4 there. Knight d4. Knight d4 hitting c2. But here I'm just going to take the pawn. Take the knight. Okay, and the queen goes there, hitting the d-pawn. Okay, the d-pawn is defended. Yeah, let's go with knight d4 and see if that provokes some kind of reaction. See if he wants to defend c2 or continue with his attacking ways. If I develop the bishop, I now have the idea of bishop bishop d7 to c6, castle queenside, possibly. Okay, so he defends, yeah. And bishop to d7. Maybe I should have just taken his bishop off, but if he plays c3 to try and evict my knight, then I can take his bishop. So it's not going anywhere. But he can put pressure on he can put pressure on d6. And where else can the knight go? The knight can come into a5 there, not d6, a5 hitting this pawn. So let's play here. that defends the d-pawn. Okay, and he's able to grab here. So queen to queen to e6. He has knight takes here with check. And then I have queen takes knight. So I guess it's safe, even if it makes me a bit nervous. But I think I will take that bishop next. Oh, he takes that way. Well, when he does that, okay, this wins. This does not win much, I don't think. Because, well, so I have to take the bishop, because that was attacking my queen. He can take my rook, but I can take his rook. Oh, not so fast. He's threatening to come to... he's threatening to come to c7, forking my king and queen. And this is a horrible threat because the king has no moves. And if the knight goes there, it's checkmate. And I don't have any way to defend that square. Let's see, what could defend it? This bishop, this knight, or this knight? Oh my. Incroyable. Okay, so if I give up the queen, I mean, I can play a move like f6.
Server announcement.
And then he plays check, and then I move the king, and then he takes my queen, and I get his knight, and then he takes my knight. And he's got a queen and 3 pieces, and I have a bishop and yeah, a rook and 2 pieces, rather. A queen, a rook and 2 pieces, and I have a bishop, a rook and 2 pieces. So it's just a, it's strictly a queen for a piece. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Okay, another way to avoid checkmate is to move this bishop out of the way. Wow, what an unlucky combination. Unlucky location of my pieces. Bishop c6, knight here. Oh, I see. Pawn here, knight there. And he just retreats the bishop after that. Incredible.
Black resigns.
Yeah, there's no way out.
Incoming challenge.
Okay, here, let's turn this off. Let's try another game.
Game started.
Let's see. D4, I guess. I just played a game to Chameleon and lost in about 3 moves. Not that long. Maybe I'll show it in the postmortem. It was an interesting tactical finish. Okay, what is this? H6? I don't know. Oh, he's playing the Marshall defense. I could have taken the pawn. Not that it's a gambit. It's just a good move to take the pawn and get the rook there, the knight there, and then get a tempo against it with e4. So that's no longer possible. We're transposed into an ordinary Queen's Gambit declined where he hasn't played either c6 or knight c6. But both moves are still possible. So should I? Yeah, I should go ahead and take here. Well, he's forced to take back with either the knight or the pawn. And get a Carlsbad structure. That's these 3 pawns against these 3 pawns. Supposed to be good. Let's see, I can try knight to d4. He can take and mess up my pawns. He probably has to grab here first. But I have the move f4 to support my pawns. I played a similar position once as black, where this e-pawn was undefended, and I was able to play knight to knight to g4, attacking the e-pawn, and got a good position out of it. But in this case, I don't think anything is going on here. Let's see, he can take my knight. He's not even attacking the he's not even attacking this pawn. Let's see, so do I want him to take my knight, or do I want to move the knight? Let's try for a bit to keep my pawn structure intact. If he starts chasing the knight can come to d4 and then back to f3. Although on f3 it blocks the f-pawn, so I can't play f4 anymore. So, do I want to play knight f3? And also, I can't play f3 to chase his knight away. I don't want to play knight f3. So I can go to b3 or c2. I guess b3 is the more likely looking. If he pushes on with c5, I can get to d4. I mean, if he pushes on with c4, I can go to d4. And if he doesn't, I have a way back in through d2 to get active again, to activate the knight. He gained a lot of space on the queen side, though. It's probably a decent position for black. I could gain a little space on the king side, actually, by playing h4, knight to e6, then the pawn is hanging. h4, knight e6, queen f2. Let's not do that. So where do I want to go? Let's bring the bishop in this way and then play b3 and bishop b2. And let's see, he's can go to these squares, right? So he plays d4 is a nice move to undermine my e3 pawn. After this pawn is gone, it opens up squares for his knight. So I'm not going to take right away. I'm going to play bishop b2 and maybe rook d1. Yeah, he likes these kind of moves. It's similar to the other game, isn't it, where he brought his queen out early? Okay, if I take, he's going to take with the knight. He's also hitting my undefended e-pawn. So f4 is probably the move here. After f4, where is he going with the queen? Here, here, or sideways, back. Maybe he goes back. Although if he goes to f5, it keeps pressure on f4, with the knight and the queen both hitting it, so that it's not so easy for me to take on d4. Or that way, also keeping pressure on f5. So I'm going to kick it again, and eventually I'm going to take on d4. That's my plan. And if he plays some move like g5 to undermine this pawn structure over here later, at least that'll weaken his kingside a bit too. Also, I just realized, don't I have the move queen to f3 here, hitting his rook? Where's the rook going? Oh, he can move the knight, and the rook is defended. Okay, so let's take here. That was my plan. How to attack it? Maybe I want to attack it with a rook, really. I don't want to attack it with a piece and a queen and end up with a pin there of some kind. So that's good. That sets up a nice discovered attack on my king rather. Well, both. If I did nothing, he could play d3 with a double attack on queen and king. Although I'd still have queen f2, wouldn't I? So let's get the other rook active. Let's see, the bishop is guarding a3, so he can't drop in here with the queen, but he could play queen to a5, hitting a2. But he doesn't. Okay, so I'm thinking knight f3, and I've got some force on the d-pawn. Yeah, knight f3, rook d3, rook d1. This kind of thing. Just pile up on that isolated pawn. A giant explosion of forces. So that defends b3 too, so if the a pawn is attacked, I could consider playing a4 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can get all my pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's got 4. Can he get his rook? He can get his rook in. He plays rook up. I play rook over. He plays rook over. Instead, he attacks the knight there. So I'm just going to defend it. Oh, I guess his knight was hanging. So let's back up. Am I playing that badly? Was his knight hanging for a long time? Yeah. That's terrible. After here, I can just take his knight. Okay, well, I'm sleepy. Okay, they're attacking my rook, yeah, and the pawn. Okay, so I can play knight takes because that attacks his queen. He can play knight takes because that attacks my queen. I can take his queen. He can take my queen. I can take his rook. He can take my rook. I can take his knight. And I'll end up with 2 pieces for a rook, I think. Now he comes here and, oh, he should have taken with the rook. He comes here with the check and picks up my my bishop at the end if he had taken back with the rook. How funny. Okay, what can we do here? There's a check there. So let's just walk in and see if we can trap the knight. There's a check there and a check there. No, I can't trap the knight, can I? Really? Well, I can attack with the knight or the bishop. I guess the knight. He's got this check here and I can take. Now, bishop here, then he checks. And king here, maybe.
Check.
Now he needs to defend the knight or move it, and then I can just take here. Okay, I need to take with the bishop, and if he exchanges, there's no check. There is a check here, or here. I can take with the bishop. Interesting. So I can grab another pawn. I guess I will. Since the checks are still guarded by the bishop, I don't want to move the bishop. But I can move the knight. I can check with the rook, but then I can attack his knight. Okay, so he's going after this guy. Let's defend it. The knight's defending my b pawn.
Check.
And now he plays the check. So the rook can enter here. Yeah, it's true. So the king should go back. The bishop is conveniently guarding that square. Otherwise he would have a check here and pick up my knight. So he's going after the bishop. So my idea was to actually just defend the bishop. And the knight is guarding this checking square from the rook, and the bishop is guarding these checking squares from the knight. And maybe I can just start pushing, pushing the b pawn. Okay, and he can round up this pawn. Let's see. So if I push immediately, and he goes rook to b7. I don't like that. So instead of that, let's kick the knight first. The knight has to go backwards if he doesn't want to allow a trade. Okay, now I can move the pawn forward because I have bishop to Bishop c5 would support the pawn. Now I can move the pawn forward again. No, I can't. It's stuck there for the moment. So let's try a knight move. Let's see, if he attacks the knight, I have pawn. No, I don't have that. If he attacks the knight is going to
check.
A7. Oh, okay, he's attacking from the side. Okay, now I can move the knight forward. He's attacking my bishop. I mean the pawn. I can move the pawn forward. He's attacking my bishop. So he could pin it. Pawn forward. Pin the bishop, pawn forward again, take the bishop with check, king moves, and then grab the pawn. Yeah, that's a problem. So I need to, well, let's just play the bishop there, I guess. Defend. I need to defend that, that b pawn if I want to hope to win this. King is doing its job. I mean, the rook is doing a job of cutting off the king. Pretty good. Pretty good play. Okay, that'll allow a check here and here, neither of which appear to be fatal.
Check.
Okay, from there he can check on this square or on this square. Eventually I will get my king around and in front of the pawn. Get past his rook blockade that way.
Check.
Maybe here. Yeah, I could go up this way. He can check me from c3. And I can go forward to this square. Interesting. So he brings his king in at that point. Okay, let's push the pawn forward then.
Check. Check.
I'm doing that mainly just to gain a tempo. And push the pawn forward again.
Check.
Now, if I go forward directly, he's got a check here with the knight, so I want to avoid that. So let's go here. Push again. Yes, I'm not getting mated. There's a check here, but the king can come to this square. There's a check here. The king goes back and attacks the rook, I guess. He might have gotten a draw here. Check here, king back, check here, king forward. Okay, he didn't play that. He's going to just skewer the I'll go ahead and queen anyway. He's going to skewer the king and queen, but I can play knight or bishop to this square.
Check.
And hopefully get into a position where there's no more checks. Eventually be in a position where there's no more checks and win this. Aha, he's just taking the bishop. Well, before I take back, why don't I consider if there's a checkmate here. Check here with the queen, and the king can run to this square or this square. I guess there's no immediate checkmate. Let's just grab the knight then.
Check. Check.
You just walk towards the rook and then the checks run out.
check,
Like here, there's no more checks. Okay, so he's going after that, but I do have
Check.
a useful move here. And I don't see any reason to give up my knight either and defend the pawn. I want to defend those squares while I can. Oh, he moved his pawn. Okay, so can I threaten checkmate somehow?
check,
There's kind of an indirect threat here on his rook. So his king, if his king moves to a square where the knight can check it, then I can pick up the rook. Like there.
check. Black resigns.
Okay, well, I won that game at least. I guess I will upload this and put it up as a double header for entertainment value mostly. I think there was some pretty horrible blunders in both games. So hope you guys enjoyed it. See you later. Bye.